Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
In 1970, during the Vietnam War, the author received a dramatic call to arms while his wife, Sue, was 2 months pregnant. On April 30, 1970, President Nixon announced the U.S. ground offensive against communist strongholds in Cambodia, and the author was deployed with over 40,000 troops in the 10th Combat Division. On October 1st, his platoon was hit hard by a sniper attack as they advanced westward. In an attempt to take cover, the author heard a blood-curdling scream and saw his companion, Pete, fall under enemy fire. Despite the instinct to flee, he couldn't abandon the friend who had guided and supported him, sharing his hopes of reuniting with family after the war. Thus, the author ran to rescue Pete but was mowed down by machine gun fire, sustaining injuries to his legs. Suddenly, he found himself observing the scene from a higher vantage point, looking at his own bloodied body next to Pete's. Convinced he was dying from blood loss without seeing his wife and unborn child again, he felt a deep sadness mixed with confusion. However, he felt no pain or fear, only the ability to think. He watched as a mist rose from Pete's head, transforming into a glowing duplicate of his body, intact unlike the mutilated physical one. Pete seemed disoriented, so the author called out to him, and they discussed what might happen next. They saw a young military medic discover their bodies and begin working on the author's, while Pete realized he was now dead. Pete shook the author's hand, thanking him for their friendship and the rescue attempt, and explained that he had to go to a familiar place, perhaps his previous home. He asked the author to live an extraordinary life and, if he had a son, to give him Pete's name. After a moment, Pete vanished. The author desperately wished to see his wife and the baby on the way, then abruptly found himself back in his injured body. After a month of treatment, the author was sent home. He contacted Pete's mother, Thelma, to offer his condolences. Thelma revealed that on the night Pete died, he appeared to her in a dream to tell her he had passed to the afterlife, but not to be sad because he was happy and had a task to accomplish. Next to him was a radiant child of about 5 years old, with curly copper hair, whom Pete called Little Pete, and introduced as the one who would learn about his future earthly life. After his son was born on October 31, 1971, the author kept his promise and named him Peter. When Peter turned 2, the author sent photos to Thelma, who noticed the resemblance to the child in the dream. At 6 years old, Peter met Thelma, who cried, recognizing him as the little Pete from the vision. Thelma became the family's grandmother and stayed in touch, appreciating every detail about Peter. Before her death, Thelma joyfully awaited the imminent reunion with Pete and her deceased husband. Peter, now an adult with children of his own, visited her and confirmed that he had always felt Pete's watchful presence, especially during the Desert Storm conflict. This experience gave the author hope in the continuation of life after death and the possibility of seeing deceased loved ones again. He also believes that children are divine gifts prepared by angels for certain earthly families. Although it contrasts with the teachings of his church, he is exploring the concept of reincarnation, convinced that a broader view of life could promote peace and end wars. The author's NDE, near-death experience, during the Vietnam War profoundly impacted his perspective on life, death, and the afterlife. The vivid encounter with Pete's spirit and the subsequent events involving Thelma and his son Peter reinforced his belief in a spiritual realm beyond our physical existence. This transformative experience not only changed his personal outlook, but also sparked a deeper exploration of spiritual concepts that diverged from his traditional religious upbringing. The incident on the battlefield, where the author risked his life to save Pete, demonstrates the strong bonds formed between soldiers in times of war. Despite the chaos and danger surrounding them, The author's instinct to help his friend overcame his survival instinct, highlighting the depth of human compassion even in the most extreme circumstances. This act of bravery, though resulting in his injury, became the catalyst for an extraordinary spiritual journey. The out-of-body experience described by the author aligns with many accounts of NDEs reported by individuals who have come close to death. The sensation of observing one's own body from above, feeling no pain or fear, and having heightened mental clarity are common elements in such narratives. The author's interaction with Pete's spirit adds a unique dimension to his experience, suggesting a continuity of consciousness beyond physical death. Thelma's dream visitation from Pete further reinforces the author's belief in an afterlife and the possibility of communication between the living and the deceased. The appearance of little Pete in the dream, later seemingly incarnated as the author's son, introduces the concept of reincarnation and the cyclical nature of souls. This idea challenges traditional Western religious views but aligns with Eastern philosophies and New Age spiritual beliefs. The author's decision to name his son Peter, honoring his fallen comrade, created a tangible link between past and present, between the physical and spiritual realms. The striking resemblance between the dream child and the actual Peter, as well as Thelma's emotional recognition of him, adds weight to the author's growing belief in spiritual continuity and reincarnation. Throughout the narrative, the theme of interconnectedness emerges strongly. The bonds between the author, Pete, Thelma, and young Peter transcend time and space, suggesting a greater design in the universe. This interconnectedness extends to the author's evolving spiritual beliefs, as he begins to see life as part of a larger, more complex tapestry than he had previously understood. The author's exploration of reincarnation, despite its conflict with his church's teachings, demonstrates a willingness to challenge established beliefs in the face of personal experience. This open-mindedness reflects a broader trend in contemporary spirituality, where individuals increasingly synthesize elements from various belief systems to form a personal philosophy that resonates with their lived experiences. The author's conviction that a broader view of life could promote peace and end wars is particularly poignant, given his experiences in Vietnam. This belief suggests that understanding the continuity of life and the interconnectedness of all beings could fundamentally change how humans interact with each other and approach conflicts. It implies that recognizing our shared spiritual nature and the cyclical nature of existence might foster greater empathy, compassion, and a reluctance to engage in destructive behaviors. In conclusion, the author's NDE and subsequent experiences have led him on a profound spiritual journey, challenging his preconceptions about life, death, and the nature of existence. His story serves as a powerful testament to the transformative potential of near-death experiences and the capacity for personal growth and spiritual evolution in the face of life-altering events. The narrative invites readers to consider their own beliefs about the afterlife and the possibility of a more expansive, interconnected view of human existence.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.